Salt. Let me give you the salt story. And in this story, you will find out why the doctor says no salt. I agree, but let's define the salt. Seawater. Seawater contains 92 minerals. Seawater from the sea. Now, of those 92 minerals, 50% is chloride and 30% is sodium. So what man does is he scoops up the first crystals formed, which is sodium chloride, bleaches it white, puts aluminium in it so that it runs freely. There's your table salt. Table salt, sometimes they call it sea salt. If it's white and runs freely, be cautious. And what it does is you've got a bilayered membrane around the cell. And what it does, it causes sodium levels in the cell to rise. That causes pressure by expanding the cell. There's your high blood pressure. And so Doc says, stop the salt. So the person stops the salt and then sodium levels go too low. That causes the cell to swell again. In fact, if that cell has no sodium in it, it explodes. Sodium is the third most vital element needed for life. And we need to take sodium into our body the way it's found in nature, which is seawater. So Celtic salt, it contains 82 minerals. Celtic salt has sodium chloride in its balanced form. In fact, if you were to inject sodium chloride straight into the veins of a person, they would die. They need all the other minerals to buffer them. Now, Celtic salt has 3 magnesiums. And in blood pressure, magnesium is very important because magnesium relaxes the heart at rest. So the 3 magnesiums are magnesium chloride, magnesium bromide, and magnesium sulfate. Magnesium is a water-hungry molecule. And when you put a crystal of Celtic salt on your tongue, maybe crunch it a bit, get water and drink it down, already in the mouth, the mucous membranes are absorbing those minerals, the magnesium. It takes the magnesium to the cell, and that magnesium pulls the water inside the cell. It's the quickest way to hydrate a body. One lady said, look at my ankles, they're so swollen, I've got too much water. I said, the water's not inside the cell. It's on the outside of the cell. We need to get that water inside the cell. One lady said, I can't drink water, I'm visiting the bathroom all the time. I said, you need the Celtic salt to get the water inside the cell. Yeah?
If you're in the hospital and like you're dehydrated and they give you all of that saline that you're
yeah.
bloated?
Yeah. They need it in the balanced form. Do you know that in the war, in the Navy, if a man needed a blood transfusion, they would transfuse him with seawater? Seawater is called an isotonic solution because it is the exact same mineral balance and proportion as is found in the human body. There's a book called The Calcium Life, fascinating book on minerals, by Dr. Robert Thompson. And he says seawater is the clearest indication of a creator God, because that water is the exact mineral balance and proportion as is found in the body. No, I'm not suggesting you drink it. We should drink pure water, but you can get dehydrated seawater. It's called Celtic salt. Why aren't there 92 minerals? Well, some minerals are in such pico proportions, barely measurable, that when the dehydration process happens, a few are lost. But hey, 82 is a lot closer. Himalayan salt also has 82 minerals. It also is quite a nice balance, but it doesn't quite have the magnesiums. And if you have Celtic salt and have Himalayan salt, the Celtic salt is wet. Have you noticed? Moist. That's because of the magnesium. Magnesium's a water-hungry molecule. And it pulls the water inside the cell. So Celtic salt can actually get the blood pressure down. Yes?
So just like you said, if you were on a statin drug and you stopped and did what you said, nothing would happen. If you were on a water pill and you did this and you stopped, anything happened?
Well, the Celtic salt can help to get the water down, but there is a herb, by the way, which is a diuretic. It's dandelion. And dandelion works by stimulating the kidneys to release more fluid, whereas most diuretics irritate the kidneys. God gave herbs for the service of man. That's right. So it's very, very important. In fact, it's going to get a whole unit by itself, Celtic salt. If you're used to no salt, start lightly.
Do you think that kidney, that person who I was talking about who's on dialysis, do you think that dandelion would be beneficial?
Yes, yeah. And for dialysis, the coconut water is very good because the coconut water, which is the water from the immature coconut, it again has that perfect mineral balance.